Hi, my name is Annamieka Hops, and this is the Art Friends Show, where every conversation focuses on getting to know the essence of creativity itself. I'd love to invite you as well to join me inside of Art Friends School, where we go deeper into these topics and join in with other art friends around the world. Thanks so much for joining us, and let's get to the show. Welcome to the Art Friends Show. Here's an artist you're gonna love to know. Hi, my name is Annamieka Hops, and I'm an artist in Portland, Oregon. And we're going live every day to create the Art Friends Show. Today we have an interview guest for you. Her name is Jackie Wood. She is an artist here in Oregon, and I'm so excited for you to hear about her process. And I think it's just such a wonderful opportunity to interview someone that I have also known her work and watched her grow and progress professionally for years now, and so it's such a fun way to get back in touch and get the update on everything that she's been creating. So let me go ahead and invite her in as our interview guest, and she'll be able to share more. She is. Hi,
Hello,
Jackie.
good morning.
Hello. Welcome to the Art Friends Show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great to talk to you again.
I know, it's such a fun way to catch up, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
tell everyone just simply your full name, where you live, and then you can start to show us what you create.
Yeah. So my name is Jackie Wood, and I live in Vancouver, Washington. Just across
you did move across the river.
Yes,
Sorry.
just across the river from Portland. Yeah. So and what I create exclusively now with mineral paint and pan pastel, and really kind of color studies is, I would say, is probably the best way to describe what I do.
Yeah.
So, and I have my latest collection out here that I was going to share. And this one, just to give a little background on how I create collections. Well, first of all, how I create, which is in collections.
Yes.
And I do that by coming up with, sometimes it's based off of a real person, but most of the time it's like a persona in my head, and they get named. It's always a woman's name. And this latest collection is called Paige. And I sit with it for a little while, and I think about, who is that person and how would I describe her and how is she in the world? And then from that description, I get a color family out of that, and what I call the color story of it. And I build all this up. There's this really great tool I use online. I'm hoping I'll pronounce it right, but I believe it's called Lila Note. And so anyway, it's a fantastic way of building mood boards. And so then I gather that that inspiration into the board, and pull it together, and then create a digital palette of the colors. And then from that, I create an original mixed colors, and that's what comes out of each collection that I do. So
amazing.
Yeah, it's really a fun way to create, because I feel like there's somebody with me in the studio. Like, I get to know this person. I kind of get connected to the art. And then it's also, from a standpoint of being able to share it with everyone else, it's a great way to be able to describe it, because it's the mood and the feeling, which of course is where the base is for all color, how we react to color. So
That's so cool. I love that you're giving like a personality to an entire body of work, and personifying it with a name and all of it that creates a unifying, literally a character, in the work itself. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really a fun way. For me, when I first started, of course, I didn't do collections. I kind of just painted randomly. And sometimes it was hard when I came into the studio of, what am I doing today? Like, what do I want to work on? Where am I headed? Where do I want to go? And once I started doing collections, I felt like I had a lot more direction, a lot more, like, when I came in. And from that, then my skills built even better, because I was kind of honed in on what I was doing, and I wasn't all over the place, because the wonderful thing about coming into a studio is the possibilities are endless, but also the hard part about coming into a studio is the possibilities are endless. So
totally.
Yeah, it was really fun. So I can share a couple pieces of
Yeah,
Paige.
let's see
Um,
it.
so this is my first collection that I've done where I actually have framed the
Ooh.
panels. So I work on cradled wood panels exclusively.
Mhm.
So these are a floating frame on them.
Mhm.
And the
Beautiful.
colors of Paige are very soft, very gentle, very calming, like a balance and peace. Here's
Mm,
another. And I did
beautiful.
these pieces. It's a 10-piece collection,
Mm.
and most of them are smaller. So they're approachable. I
Ooh.
love that. It's important for me if somebody connects with art that, that they can bring it into their home and make it part of their world.
Mhm.
Um, and then a couple of pieces that just came back from a show. So I do have,
Ooh.
yeah, a couple bigger pieces
Hmm.
as well,
So
which
y'all,
was,
to see these in person, there's so much. It's like you. I mean, I always feel like we sort of become our paintings, and
mm,
you have this quiet power and reverence and a sense of like the sense of knowing you and getting to know you and these details and things that you see. When I see your paintings and I get to see the texture of the pan pastel on top of the mineral paint, the mineral paints are very, they're not shiny, like an
mm,
acrylic is.
mm-hmm,
Just a ton of mm, quality that you
thank
see in the
you.
fine detail in these when you see them in real life.
Yeah, it is a big difference. Like this one, it will not show up, I'm sure, on camera because it
Yeah.
never does. But this is one, this was fun because I actually created these back in February when we were getting snow. And this
Mm-hmm.
one I put out in the snow when
Oh,
the
cool.
base color was still wet. And so when you see it in person, you can really see how, as it dried, it pulled the color and it really created a lot of texture, which was fun.
Neat.
Um, yeah, so it definitely in person you get to see that,
Mm-hmm.
which is really fun. That's texture for me is a big part of how and why I create.
Mm-hmm.
It's why I use palette knives only
Mm-hmm.
to move the paint,
Mm-hmm.
because it creates those imperfections and ridges and interest that then when I come in with the pan pastel, it just lays over the top of that, which
Yeah,
is really, really fun.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
your commitment to this process. I also remember a couple of years ago when you got rid of a ton of supplies.
Yes.
That
Yes.
sense of like, this is what you're gonna paint. You said you paint exclusively on wood panels. You use
Hmm.
mineral paint. Like you really committed to a process, so you're deep in this, and you've established a voice in it.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been really fun to be able to do that, because it makes it a lot simpler to come in and create.
Yeah,
It's a little overwhelming when you have, tons of supplies and what do you want to do? And
yeah.
um, yeah, so it's been interesting though, because I am doing the 100 days as well. And I'm doing them on these little 4x4s. Actually, I can grab, there's one right
Yeah.
here. Um, these little 4x4 clay boards. So I guess I should not say I work exclusively on cradled panels because I do paint on the clay boards as well.
Okay,
Um,
we'll give you that one.
yeah, I mean, hard surfaces though. I don't paint on canvas, anything that has a give,
Yeah.
because I have sliced right through a canvas with a palette knife. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's no coming back from that. So it's easier to work on something that can't be destroyed. But with this 100-day study is playing around, still using the mineral paint,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of the pan pastel over the top, I'm using other things just to experiment and see if I like it any
Yeah.
better
Mm-hmm.
than the pan pastel, or just to see if it's something I'd want to add into my practice.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's been really, really fun. And to do
Yeah.
it on such a small piece, so it makes it
Yeah.
easier and
Yeah.
approachable. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So you also have a workshop coming up this summer. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I have taught classes in the past, and I'm kind of in transition right now, changing studios, changing location of things. And a lot of that, it kind of held me up like, oh, there's not this, I don't have the same space to be able to teach
Mm-hmm.
in. And I thought, I'm limiting myself. So what I want to do, and I'm going to open up this summer, is actually to invite people here into my studio, but a one-on-one, because I don't have space here for a huge group of people. So they'll actually be standing right where I am or sitting. And we're going to talk about color. We're going to dance around with color. We're going to create a custom color palette for them, and then create an original, and we'll paint it and finish it, and they'll go home with a completed piece. And it will be a one-on-one, or if that's intimidating, you can be a bring a friend along, and I can have two people. Yeah. So that will be
art class.
Yeah, a little bit more hands-on, and we're going to be able to talk a lot more than if it's in a big group. So it should be fun. I'm going to open that up to do some sessions this summer.
Cool. That sounds really lovely. And I know how needed that is, especially for people who just want to be guided through an entire process, start to finish. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it should be fun. I love teaching and seeing people create, and what they do with the mediums that I've been working with for years, because everyone creates something unique and different, even though we're using the same tools. And it's really fun to see how they explore. Because palette knife painting is usually, for most people who've taken the classes, it's a new tool for them. And so, so it's kind of fun to see where they go.
That's so cool. Yeah, palette knives were, traditionally used to mix color because they don't, absorb any color into the bristles. So you use them to kind of mash your paints together on the palette. But I love how in modern painting, there are no rules. We use our tools to make interesting marks.
Yeah, it's very fun. And this paint is really thick, the mineral paint that I use. So I also don't want to see those brush marks because it's such a thick paint. So that's why, too, I really like the palette knife, because, again, you don't have that. And the brushes are extremely difficult to clean because it is really thick paint. So,
you mentioned, you alluded to this, but one of the things we were going to talk about is how much your space impacts your process and your workflow, and this move to Vancouver that you did from Portland. I just wanted to talk about that, frankly, how that's impacted your art, how it's changed your art, or,
it changed it quite a bit. I was very blessed with a fantastic studio when I was in Portland. Lots of space, so I could work on anything on any size, which is just an incredible thing, and I did, and it was a great adventure, and it was a great way for me to start. And then for family reasons, we had to move, and the space that I have now is a lot smaller, a lot more limited. So I had to get creative on how do I want to make art now. I don't want to stop, but I'm going to have to adjust. And to be honest, the first year was really tough. It was one like, can I continue? How do I do this? And I spent a lot of time kind of trying to can I find space outside of, in home? And that is also not very easy to do over here. And so it was like, okay, it's time to embrace what I have and make it work for me. And I just have to adapt. And after that time of kind of, I don't know if you'd call it it's an adjustment, that transition, a little bit of mourning of what was, but welcoming in what is. And it was, once I could make that transition to welcome in and be in that mindset, it made a huge, huge difference.
You got to grieve, right? In order to properly make space for what's next. So.
And so many different and new opportunities have come from me being where I'm at now that would not have come had I not moved. And I wouldn't have pushed myself to do things that I've had to do. So even though, when you're going through it, it's never a fun thing and it seems really awful or it feels really awful. It has definitely there's been a lot of silver lining. And now at this stage of, it's just fun. Yeah,
it's good to see you in action, and I'm so excited to get to work together and just to catch up. And what else are you looking forward to that's coming up in your art world?
Yeah, well, this weekend, actually, I am taking four pieces that are just sitting right over here in various stages of being ready. But there's a local restaurant here in Vancouver that I'll be hanging pieces at, which I'm really excited about.
Cool.
Um, yeah, so there's a lot of different things like that going on and the workshops. But then one of the biggest things actually that's related to you is the Art Friends School that I am
Yay!
very excited
Me
about.
too.
Yeah, I can't wait to
Yeah.
like meet everybody and
Yeah.
see where that's gonna go,
It's
the
so fun.
possibilities.
So I'm gonna wrap this founding member launch up pretty quickly because the point of it is to just say who's already like really hot to trot before it's built. And I'm just so excited that you're part of this founding cohort. It's such a cool group of people that have all committed from that same essence of like, I don't know where we're going, but this is going to be awesome. Let's
Yeah.
create it together. And I'm learning a lot doing the founding member launch because, it's definitely vulnerable to be like, it's not built yet, but please join me and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think I'll wrap up the launch. I was going to try to wrap it up tomorrow. I might give myself like 2 more days just because creating just a single newsletter sometimes is a whole
Yes.
afternoon.
Yes.
But yeah, then we can start doing the community building and the sharing, and I'll start creating the courses about each topic, and it's gonna be so fun. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for being a part of it.
Oh, well, thank you for, putting that out there because it's a big thing for you, a big step, but I'm really excited about the possibility of it. And I love that it hasn't started. Like you have the idea, but it's not all ironed out because it means that
Yeah.
it'll grow organically, which a lot of the time can be some of the best things. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited for those opportunities and
Yeah.
meeting people and that's
I'm
going to be
excited too.
fun.
We did a photo shoot yesterday to
Oh,
create kind of like so when you're going to come into Art Friends School, I'm building it as a membership site. I'm going to use Kajabi. And so we did a photo shoot and some video shoot to populate the school so that there's going to be images when you come in, like welcome with like a color wheel and it's like building a world. It's really exciting. One step at a time, but we got to get the people at the party. And so I'm glad.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
I am too. I'm excited to see who else will be there. So, but it will be good. Yeah, just all of that. So those are some of the big things I'm really just working on. I'm involved in some art organizations over here, and that is such a huge blessing in my time, being able to create art and make art available to people who don't normally have access to it.
Cool.
So that's where a lot of my energy is going right now too, which is just really, really fun.
That's so cool, Jackie. You've always been such an advocate in the community. I've seen you doing numerous projects.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to learn more about what you're doing.
Yeah, it's it's a blessing for me to have that opportunity for the studio to be able to provide me that time to be able to then go out and do that, because I think it's the same thing with the classes I do. There's nothing better than being around people who are creating. And this summer I'm bringing together a project with some partners. The organization I'm part of, we're partnering with a bunch of other organizations, and we're going to do a collaborative art project with 125 kids.
Oh, wow. What are you doing with 125 kids?
Yeah, they're coming to this event, and one of the things that they will be doing is we're going to have 3 panels out, and they're going to be working on a collaborative project. Yeah, really kind of a free-flowing, letting them play with a lot of different tools, trying to show them that you don't have to have traditional art tools. So like things you might have around your house, bottle caps that you can make with. And just a lot of fun for them to just see like what the opportunities and the, it's open. You don't have to go and spend tons of money to make art.
I love that. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever go to a coffee shop called Coffee X in Vancouver?
No, I haven't heard of Coffee X.
So
Where?
it's spelled Kaifiex.
Oh, I have seen it. They have,
So
I
go
have
in
seen it.
there because Nikki Cade, who was also on for an Art Friend interview, painted the mural in both the the original location with the roaster, as well as the new location that's down on the waterfront.
That's the one I've gone by. Yes,
Yeah.
I do know. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I know which one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will go check that out. Definitely. I haven't been inside there, but I have walked by it.
Yeah. It's a Vancouver friend connection. She lives in Texas, but they liked her work so much that they flew her out both times to paint those murals.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I would just go hang out and see her while she's painting. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff happening down there right now. That is for sure. So the restaurant that my art will be at is not in the waterfront area, but just up from that space.
What's it called again?
It's called Elements.
Elements. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Elements Restaurant.
Yeah.
Have you shown there? Is this your first time showing there? Or have you shown there before?
No, I have not. So yeah, just getting in with the different, venues and community here in Vancouver, which are quite a few. There's a lot of art action happening over here, which is just really, really fun to be part of.
Yeah.
So yeah, the two bigger Paige pieces just came back from a show. It was about 200 pieces of art. There were about 78 artists that participated in the show. It was amazing. I've never seen that much art in one space together that is so diverse. You had like traditional oil, watercolor, mixed media, modern, contemporary. It was really sculpture and all the different styles of art. Yeah, it was really, really a cool event.
Very cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on for an Art Friend interview. It was a really fun way to reconnect, and I love what you're doing right now, and it sounds like you have kind of gone through the huge disruption and adjustment of relocating your studio, and now you're in motion.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, thank you. It was fun to talk. As always, our conversations are always so much fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to our future time together and the group that will be. Yeah. It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, Jackie. Well, thanks so much. And to anyone watching, please comment and tell Jackie something that you appreciated hearing, or just cheer her on in general. Drop a heart emoji, share it to your stories, give her a follow, all of the things. And again, I'm Annamieka Hops. This is the Art Friend Show, and we'll see you tomorrow for another episode. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
I'd love to have you inside of Art Friend School, where we go deeper into these topics. Follow the link that's in the show notes or find it on my website at annamieka.com.